getting the ball in the hole.
Doesn't want is a low skimmer.
They said the greatest golfer who ever lived was gone, washed up, and through. A sports columnist had put it in print for the whole world to read. Jack Nicklaus was 46 years old. He had not won a major in 6 years. He was playing only 12 to 14 tournaments a year, had missed the cut in 3 of his 7 starts that season, and had withdrawn from a 4th. The writer said his game was rusted from lack of use. He said nobody that old wins the Masters. The column was cut out and taped to the refrigerator of the Augusta home Nicklaus was renting that week. Jack read it. He went to work. What happened next is one of the most stunning moments in the history of sports. The date was Sunday, April 13th, 1986. The leaderboard at Augusta National was loaded with the best players alive. Greg Norman, Seve Ballesteros, Bernhard Langer, Tom Watson. Nicklaus sat at 214 after 3 rounds, looking like a man who had already accepted the end. Nobody was watching him. And then, on the back 9, the world stopped. Eagle on the par 5 15th, birdie on 17. He played the back 9 in 30 shots. Final score, 65. Jack Nicklaus had won the Masters, becoming the oldest champion in that tournament's history. His oldest son, Jackie, was carrying his bag. The two embraced on the 18th green, and that image has never left the memory of anyone who saw it. After his press conference, Nicklaus spotted the writer who had written the column. He smiled and thanked him. That is where this story begins. Not with a trophy, with a 46-year-old man who used a newspaper clipping as fuel and shocked the world. Before we go further, if you love stories about legends who refuse to fade away, hit subscribe right now. Leave a comment telling us if you think that 1986 Masters is the greatest late career comeback in sports history. We want to hear from you. Now let us get into the full story of the man who set the standard that golf still cannot beat. Jack William Nicklaus was born on January 21st, 1940 in Columbus, Ohio. His family traced roots to the Alsace-Lorraine region of Europe. His great-grandfather, Louis Charles Nicklaus, chose Columbus, while other family branches settled in Cincinnati and Wichita. That choice, made generations before Jack arrived, placed him at Scioto Country Club. His father, Charlie Nicklaus, was a pharmacist and the most important figure in his life. When Jack was 10, an ankle injury gave Charlie the opening to introduce his son to golf. At Scioto, Charlie had once watched Bobby Jones win the 1926 U.S. Open, and the stories he passed down about Jones shaped who Jack would become. Under club professional Jack Grout, Jack started building his game from scratch. Other great athletes have origin stories full of chaos and pain. Jack Nicklaus did not. His was built on love, structure, and support. That stability gave him something rare, a calm foundation that held up across 5 full decades of competition. By 13, he was shooting in the 70s. By 15, he had qualified for the U.S. Amateur. At 16, he won the Ohio Open as an amateur, beating seasoned professionals. He won the U.S. Amateur in 1959 and again in 1961. Then he turned professional. His arrival was not polite. In 1962, the U.S. Open was at Oakmont in western Pennsylvania. That was Arnold Palmer country. Palmer was the most beloved golfer in America, the charismatic people's champion. Nicklaus was 22 and a stranger to most fans. He forced a playoff anyway. The crowd booed and jeered him at every turn. Before the playoff, Palmer offered to split the extra gate receipts. Nicklaus said no, winner take all. He shot 71. Palmer shot 74. Nicklaus won. He did not need the crowd's love. He simply beat the man everyone wanted to win and announced to the sport that a new order was coming. What set Nicklaus apart was not just power, it was his mind. He planned every hole backward, from the pin to the tee, finding the ideal landing zones. He thought 2 and 3 shots ahead, while others reacted to what was right in front of them. He also built his season entirely around the 4 majors. Regular events were preparation. The majors were the real target. He did not try to be hot every week. He wanted to be ready when history was on the line. That produced a record that still stands: 18 professional major championships. Every great golfer in the world is still trying to reach that number. Tiger Woods spent his entire career chasing it and never got there. Beyond the wins, Nicklaus finished second in majors 19 times. He was in direct contention in 37 major championships. He made 164 major starts in total. His run of 146 consecutive major appearances stretched from the 1962 Masters through the 1998 US Open. He made 131 cuts in majors and shares the record of 39 straight cuts with Tiger Woods. He won 73 PGA Tour events. His major wins break down as 6 Masters titles, 5 PGA championships, 4 US Opens, and 3 Open championships. In 5 separate years, 1971, 1973, 1974, 1975, and 1977, he finished in the top 10 at all 4 majors in the same season. No other golfer has done that more than 3 times. Those numbers are proof of a dominance the sport has never seen again. Not every great moment is a win. In 1982 at Pebble Beach, Tom Watson stood in heavy rough on the par 3 17th hole in the final round of the US Open. Nicklaus was already in the clubhouse. A Watson bogey likely meant a 5th US Open title for Jack. Watson chipped in. Nicklaus walked out to meet him on the 18th green, grabbed him by the shoulders, and said, "You little son of a bitch, you did it to me again." Then he added, "I'm proud of you. I know how much you needed to win this tournament." That is not what losers say. That is what legends say. The rivalry between Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer defined a generation. Palmer was warmth and charisma. Nicklaus was precision and patience. Fans disliked him early because he kept beating their hero. Over time, the rivalry became a friendship. They co-designed the King and Bear course in St. Augustine, Florida, the only course they ever built together. Their final shared competitive appearance was the 2001 Masters. What started as a battle ended as a bond. Off the course, Nicklaus founded Nicklaus Design in 1966. The firm designed or redesigned more than 400 golf courses across 45 countries and 6 continents. In 1976, he created the Memorial Tournament at Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio, to honor the great players of the game. In 2007, Howard Milstein and Emigrant Bank acquired controlling interest in Nicklaus companies for $145 million. Years later, that relationship collapsed. A legal battle began in 2022 when the company tried to stop Nicklaus from using his own name and likeness. They claimed he had considered a $750 million LIV golf offer, though he had actually declined it out of loyalty to the PGA Tour. Executives also suggested he had cognitive decline to undermine his authority. Nicklaus fought back. A Florida arbitrator ruled in July 2024 that his non-compete had expired. In March 2025, a New York court ruled in his favor on all 6 corporate claims and awarded him $1 million in legal fees. A Florida jury awarded him $50 million for defamation. On April 2, 2026, Nicklaus reclaimed full ownership of his name, brand, and digital properties. His son Gary became chief executive officer. His grandson, Jack Nicklaus II, took over course design. At 86, he had won again. His wife Barbara had been beside him through all of it. They married in 1960 and raised 5 children. They founded the Nicklaus Children's Healthcare Foundation and pledged $60 million to the Miami Children's Health System. He entered the World Golf Hall of Fame in 1974 while still competing. He received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2005, the Congressional Gold Medal in 2015, and the Lincoln Medal in 2018. He is one of only 4 people in history and the only athlete to receive all 3. His final Masters came in 2005. As he walked up the 18th fairway at Augusta for the last time, the crowd rose and did not sit back down. The same gallery that had once booed him for beating Palmer now cheered him all the way home. Booed at Oakmont in 1962, standing ovation at Augusta in 2005. That is the whole story in one image. There will never be another Jack Nicklaus. Not just because of 18 majors. Not just because Tiger chased him his whole career and never reached him. It is because Nicklaus combined everything at once. Winning, longevity, strategy, grace in defeat, business vision, course design, family loyalty, a lifetime of service to the game. He never set out to be called the greatest golfer who ever lived. He simply prepared to win every single time he teed it up. The record suggests it worked. Drop a comment with your favorite Jack Nicklaus major moment. Tell us which rivalry defined him more, Arnold Palmer or Tom Watson. If you want us to cover other legends from the golden era of sports, drop their names below. We have got more stories to tell.